Welcome to Amberg Acres. So the last time when Pablo was here, on the last day he was here, he helped me get these desks, this double desk up on the top here, on the top floor. We left this wall open, we moved the camper, and then we came in here with the tractor and lifted it up here. So it wasn't too bad. But once we got it up here, it seemed like it just took up too much space. We had it coming from kind of centered here, coming out, and it just seemed like it took up too much space the way it was. So we decided that, you know, the best solution would be to separate them and make two individual desks instead of one big double desk, and it would fit better in the room. So what I'm gonna do, this one here I did yesterday. So what I did is, on the bottom of the legs, there's a threaded hole where there were little feet screwed in, so that you could adjust for setting it on wherever you're setting the desk. Okay, so there were 4 feet on each desk. So I took that out, and it's metric, obviously. So I found some metric bolts, and I took this big piece of oak. Now, if you remember these slabs of oak, I cut them last year out of that first tree up on the hill there, that first big oak tree up on the hill. I cut these slabs up. And so now I went back and I pulled the slabs. They've been sitting out there all winter, and it's not quite a year, but they've been out there almost a year. So now I went and grabbed them and I squared them up and got a nice piece of the middle wood out of it, the darker colored wood, not the sap wood, the darker colored wood. I'm terrible at the terminology for this stuff, but there's a name for it. So I cut 2 of them. I got the one sitting behind me here. I don't know if you can see that on the camera, but I cut 2 of them right away, and then I put a little pocket on the back side because the bolts weren't long enough, so I had to cut a little pocket on the back side, and I'll show you that when we do this other one. And that screws into the leg, and then I made this gusset, and I made these brackets. So these brackets, there were already bolts on the back side of the legs that held the 2 desks together. So I used those bolts, and I made these brackets and screwed them on there. And then screwed the gusset there, the 2x4 gusset into this, or through it. So this stuff here, this is kind of a unique material. One of the places I worked at many years ago worked with plastics, and everything they did was plastic. So this was, I don't remember the name of it, but I thought it was called Trespa. And what it is, it's a plastic and wood type material. So there's wood in it, so that makes it a green product, even though there's plastic in there. And it's really hard stuff. It actually chips really easy. You can see it here. It chips, but it's really hard stuff. And when you cut it, say you cut it on the circle saw or the chop saw, it kind of burns like wood, and it smells like burnt wood, you know? But you can't really see the wood grains in there. So I don't know how it's actually made, but it's really some pretty tough stuff. So that's what I made these plates out of, because I couldn't find any metal the size I wanted to make them plates. But this works really good. So the desk is solid now. It's got a little bit of a rock because my oak piece has got a little bit of a warp to it, which you just can't seem to get away from it. It doesn't matter how much weight I got on there. As soon as I take that board off the pile and bring it over here, and it sits out here in the sun while I'm getting ready to cut it, within a few hours it's already warping, you know? So I don't know how to get away from that. You can't run everything through the planer, you know? But they look nice. So once I figure out exactly where they're gonna go, I can stick some shims under there, and that'll get rid of that little bit of rock. But for what I'm doing with them, that rock isn't gonna hurt me at all. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this other one apart here, and we're gonna show you how I did that, and we're gonna put this new plank on the bottom here, and we're gonna get this one all set up so that it can go right here next to this one. And hopefully, by my measurements, I should be able to get 2 of them on this wall, and my door should still open just fine. Okay? So let's get started. So I dug out my lights. So hopefully that helps with the lighting situation here. So there's two bolts that holds this electrical box on. This thing is, this part is pretty darn heavy. So I'm afraid as soon as I loosen this bolt up, it's gonna just fall to the floor. Probably should have disconnected the electrical cord first, huh? There. Now, I'll put my gloves on for this so I don't cut my hands. This metal can be really sharp. So I'm just going to try and pop this off. Now you can see how flimsy this desk would be if you didn't have those, if I didn't put those gussets and stuff on there. It wants to rip right out of that wood. We're gonna lay this guy down. There. So seeing I got it laying there nice in that position, I am going to put these brackets on. Don't know why. Drilled them together, this one falls right on there, the other one don't. Huh. Must be their bolts are off. Can't be my stuff. So now we're going to flip it completely over to get these legs off the bottom, these boards that I put on there. I think I'm gonna drag this thing out of here. So that piece is extremely heavy. It's got the bus bar in there, and it's made out of, I don't know what gauge that would be. It's probably a little thicker than 1/16 of an inch thick steel, all formed to make that bus box, and it is very heavy. Once you remove that, this desk by itself doesn't weigh that much until I put this piece of oak on, and it'll weigh quite a bit again. But the weight helps as far as holding it down, keeping it in place. So since I've been working with this wood, I've been trying to research a little bit about the cupping problem. So let me see if this board here is cupped. Yes, it is. So hopefully you can see that. It is cupped, all right? So the consensus is you put the board bark down and then it'll cup towards what you have it fastened to. Okay? Does that, I don't know if that makes any sense. So if you put bark down, right? It'll cup towards what you have it fastened to, and it won't warp as bad because it'll be fastened down, right? If you put it this way, all the corners will lift up, okay? Just for a little experiment, I set some boards down here on the concrete floor, and I came back out the next day and the top board was curled up, you know, definitely really, that you can really see it curled up. So I'm like, okay, so I looked at it. Well, it's just the opposite of the bark down thing. So I flipped it over. A day or two later, I came out and looked at it. It's curled up again. So I did a little more research, and what I'm finding out is that yes, the bark down thing is a thing. So when I did these floors, I put everything bark down, and you can tell everything's kind of trying to curl down. But if you just lay a board out there in the sun, it's going to curl both ways because the sun is drying out this side faster than it's drying out the other side. So it will curl the opposite direction if it's laying out in the sun or just the air itself getting at it with nothing holding that board down. It will cup the other way. So, and I proved that to myself just with that one little experiment. So I'm gonna put this just the way I have it. I got it with bark down right now. So my grains are going, my grains look like a hump on the end of this board, okay? So I hope that clears it up for you. especially working with the green wood, it's gonna move. It's gonna shrink, it's gonna move. When I put this floor together, they were tight together. There's already a 1/4 inch gap between these boards. And it's only been, what, a few months, you know? So I don't know if these boards are already all the way dried out or not, but they shrink quite a bit, okay? So, that said, I gotta put some holes in here to screw into these legs. So let me go. I got my dimensions written down downstairs there. I'm gonna go get them. I have the drills up here, and I'm gonna lay it out, and we'll get this thing bolted on here, and then get it stood back up. All right, so I wrote down my numbers on my scrap paper here. It is 65 3/4 hole to hole, and then it's 3 inches off the back edge here that I'm putting that hole in. So I want to get you up here close so you can see what I'm doing, and I want to show you the wood here. This looks like really nice stuff, but it's really cracking bad. And this tree was dead for how many years? It was half rotten. All the sapwood on the outside edges was pretty much gone already. So I'm kind of surprised that it's cracking this bad after it's dried. There was a big knot. There was a big knot over here on this end. I believe it was this end. And that had a big crack all the way through it, you know, so I cut that off and got the best piece I possibly could out of one of them planks. So it's kind of disappointing. Now, if I would take this and I would take my saw and just rip it right about here, I would have all this really nice grain wood, and that would be a nice board. But this part in the center here, not good. It's cracking pretty bad. But it'll work fine for what I'm doing here with it. And you wouldn't go out and buy a piece of wood like this. This is just, I'm using it because I don't know what else to use it for, because of the way it's turning out now that it's drying. It's just not, it's not gonna make a really nice bench or anything. I guess this was my choice to what I'm gonna do with it for right now. All right, so I got 1.25 inch spade bit here, and I gotta go down almost half of this for that screw. For that screw that I got here. Because the board is as thick as the screw, so I gotta go, yeah, I gotta go almost halfway through. Okay, so we're using a 3/8 drill. This is, I believe, a 8mm. It measures around 300 and something, like about 5/16, so 312-ish. So that would be 8mm. So I'm using a 3/8 bit, and that way it makes the hole a little bigger. And then I'm putting these heavy washers on there, and that makes the hole a little bigger in case I'm off a little bit. It should line up. I gotta go a little deeper with this. So this is offset. I'm only 3 inches in from the back here, and that's to help with this extension coming out here, because the top is offset on the legs. So that helps counterbalance that. So we're gonna try and move this in the position. I should get that drill off of there. Okay. Definitely one of them jobs where you could use 2 people because it's very hard to see what you're doing. So now, if I did it right, it should fall right in this one. No. I am way off. What the heck did I do? Oh. I think I know what I did. I did my math wrong. Yep, shoots. So I seriously goofed that one up. I measured 33 and 7/8 instead of 32 and 7/8. Off my center line. Don't know how I did that. I just did that one yesterday and it turned out fine. Yeah. Alright. I should be able to make this work. There'll just be a little hole there. Which probably will be covered by the leg. You probably won't even see it. So there's an old saying that comes to mind here. Stupid is as stupid does. And there you go. That was really stupid. Alright, I'm gonna have to pull that bolt out. All right, let's try that again. There we go. It happens to the best of us, folks. If you think I built this whole barn and didn't cut a border through the wrong length, you got another guess coming. Okay, that's on there, good and tight. So now I gotta flip this thing back over and put the gussets on. So I think the best way to do that is to slide it this way. God, that sucker's still a little heavy. All right. We got it close to where it's going. I got to go cut a couple of 2x4s at a 45 and bring them up here and mark them, and then I'll go back and cut the other side, and it should look just like the other desk. So we got our angle brackets cut, and this is pretty simple. We're just going to line it up. That's good and solid. So on the front side, we're putting in like a 4.5 inch screw. That ain't going anywhere. All right, that's how we're doing it. So let's get her moved into place and make her go up and down. Okay, so this is where I was thinking of putting them. So I gotta move that one. It's got the laser on. I gotta move that one down about, I don't know, 3 inches or so. And then my door will swing open and not hit this one. So I think this will work just the way I have it. So they go up and down. Each one had its own individual motor, so this was easy to do. You just need a power source for it. And like I said, they rock a little bit, but that's not too bad. And we talked about this the other day. Once I have the walls up and I know what's on there, I could technically anchor these to the wall somehow, you know, and then that would stiffen them up even more if I need that. This right now is fine just the way it is. So I guess that's it. So another quick little video from Amberg Acres, and if you like these videos, give me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe, and we will catch you on the next one. We have plenty more to do here yet. I got another wall to build here. We got one of these is going to be a cleat wall. It's probably going to be that one now. The way I have the desk set up now, it would probably be that wall right there would be the cleat wall. But we'll see. We could change this all around by the next time you see it, I also want to apologize one more time for the lighting. As this room gets finished up here, the lighting will get done. I just spent about $1,000 on stone for putting around the outside of the barn here. So that'll be one of the next upcoming projects. We want to fix the driveway. I bought a culvert double wall culvert for the end of the driveway, so we're going to get that fixed and try and fix some of our water problems out there. Every time it rains heavy, the water just runs down the ditch and over the top of the driveway, and the end of that driveway turns into a mush pit, you know. So we're gonna fix some of that, and we're gonna get a bunch of stuff fixed up around here this summer that isn't gonna cost us a whole bunch of money, you know. So the stone was a big expense out there, and beyond that, the rest of it's gonna have to be done on a tight budget, because that's the way we work here. Until next time, later.